This year marks the centenary of the grouping into the Big Four of British Railways, and Hornby, in celebration of that, has produced 4 locomotives, limited edition locomotives, as I say, to celebrate the Big Four. These are Class A1, Great Western Castle, LMS 264 tank, and Southern King Arthur. I've had the LNER A1 and the GWR Castle to assess. First, we have the A1, LNER Class A1, 4478 Hermit. Now, strictly speaking, this is in 1925 to 1929 condition, because prior to 1925, from 1923 when this loco was built, the number was 1478, and from 1925 it became 4478, and in 1929-1930 she received long travel valves, and the cab and the boiler fittings were cut down to the LNER composite loading gauge. What a magnificent model! Here she is in action. A typical Pullman working. At the time, these were the most powerful locomotives in Great Britain. Well, according to the LNER, the Great Western, by terms of tractive effort, had their Castle, which was more powerful, and in 1925 there were a series of exchange tests between an A1 on the Great Western and a Castle on the LNER, and I'm ashamed to say the Castle came out on top. However, in 1948, during the exchanges of that year at the beginning of British Railways, an A4, which was a development of the A1 stroke A3, was put against a King, which was a development of the Castle, and hey-ho, being very partisan, the A4 won. Right, now we have the Castle. Caldecott Castle, as built in 1923. Now, apparently, and I've only recently been made aware of this, the spelling was incorrect to start with, so this has the correct spelling, which again post-dates it from 1923. It's in original condition with a small tender. Now, this was a classic Great Western design, arguably the epitome of the Great Western 4-cylinder express passenger locomotive. The King was bigger, but I think the Castle, in my view, looks better, and Hornby's model certainly captures it. Castles were first built in 1923, and would you believe, almost 30 years later, in British Railways days, they were still being built, a testament to an extremely sound design. Once again, as I say, a beautiful model, perfectly finished. Those clerestories, by the way, you won't be surprised to learn, are not mine. I borrowed them. Dare I say this, I don't have any Great Western locomotives or rolling stock. Tell it not in Gath. Performance, both these locomotives, the A1 and the Castle, absolutely superb. Now, obviously not a centenary, we have BR's Standard 9F by Hornby, and this one, being DCC, is sound fitted. Now, since my little by them is only analogue, and it would appear that Hornby's current DCC fitted locomotives will not work on analogue, the chips appear to have been told not to. What to do? Well, believe it or not, I have some very good friends, one of whom is Gilbert Barnett, and he has a wonderful model of Peterborough North, and that's DCC. And 9Fs were very common there. Perhaps not this one, because this represents 92002 in as-built condition in 1954, as allocated to the Western region and shedded at Ever Junction. However, a 9F is a 9F, and Peterborough North is a perfect test track. Sound fitted. I think it sounds very realistic, but perhaps because I'm a dinosaur, I'm yet to be entirely convinced by DCC sound. May I let you be the judge? As I say, it's quite convincing, and it's certainly in sync, but maybe my memory is fading. I remember 9Fs, saw most of them. And it certainly is another dimension, and Hornby is to be congratulated by actually producing this. It's a very, very powerful locomotive. As can be seen, we don't actually see the whole train, but I can tell you it's over 45 wagons, perhaps nearly 50 loaded ones. 9Fs revolutionised the running of these trains. There was nothing to touch them before, and, well, the diesels managed it, but nothing in steam. Now I suppose latterly 92002 could have been seen on the Eastern region, because several of the earlier Western region allocated 9Fs ended up either on the Midland region or the Eastern region, and latterly some of them got double chimneys. Anyway, this is 92002 as built in Crewe, 1954, pristine, gleaming, shining. A worthy representation. I thoroughly recommend it. May I please say a grateful thanks to Gilbert for spending a morning and a bit videoing this with me, or running it while I videoed it, and particular thanks to my dear friend Chris Walsh for editing this. I hope you've enjoyed it.